Okay, here we are. Number 2, second reading for the month of Capricorn for the air signs of Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So let's talk a little bit about the sign that we are currently in, because this reading is for the month of Capricorn. So Capricorn, I'm going to be repeating this in all the videos because sometimes people will not watch the previous videos aligned to these readings. So Capricorn is influenced by the planet of Saturn. So Capricorn's all about strong work ethics, dedication, discipline, very much aware of time, the importance of getting things done in a certain time frame. There's a lot of structure, but they're driven by that. Capricorn is a very hardworking sign. It is ruled by Earth, so there is a groundingness that comes for Capricorn. It comes to work and putting things in order and having that structure towards fulfilling things that benefits them and empowers them to be more successful. Everything can always be even better with Capricorn. So Saturn ruling that planet gives them that order and discipline that's needed. Now, what's interesting here is with the air signs, hi Spirit. What's interesting is with the air signs, specifically Aquarius, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. It's traditional ruling planet, but it is also ruled by the outer planets, the planets that are more generational. They're ruled by Uranus. So Uranus deals with technology. The time that Uranus was discovered, there's a lot of technological shifts. There's a lot of innovation that was taking place when Uranus was discovered, and its association with Aquarius. So the element of air deals with the mind, the intellect, how we rationalize things, how we see things from the perspective of the mind, not so much the heart. Remaining open towards things, being objective, seeing things, inside out, but also learning from it, experiencing what you're gaining from having those kinds of qualities of communicating with people and what they have to say and finding balance within that. So Aquarius, we'll go right into this. Aquarius ruled by Saturn, and I'm going to focus more on that information and just give a little touch upon Uranus influence for the reading of Aquarius for this month of Capricorn. So I'm going to show you the card here. So we have here originality, philanthropy, progressive imagining. These are the key words here. And as you see here, we see the vessel pouring out water. Now, I know with people there's some confusion because when you see Aquarius, we see that vessel that has water coming out from it. And what's interesting with Aquarius, even though it's an air sign, it deals more with changes within the universe, within humanity, seeing growth. And Aquarius is a fixed sign, so once they have these ideas that they feel so strongly about, they stick to it. So they tend to be rebellious. They don't listen. I shouldn't say they don't listen, but they'll listen to what other people say, but they still have their original concept that they want to stick to. So there is that open-mindedness to listen, but for the most part, they're like, that's nice, but I'm going to keep going with my way of seeing things. So in that sense, their eccentricity gives them a placement of being an innovator, being original with doing things and saying things. They're the outsiders looking at what's going on around them. They are very good socializing because they want to understand their own humans, how they are, what's missing, how they feel, the hurt. And so going back to the vessel that's pouring water, Aquarius, I feel, is, and it's also associated with the sign of the star in the major arcana, I feel they're like the spiritual healer, and the sense that the spirit healing of the consciousness of the world. They feel, they see the pain, not so much feel, but they see the pain, they see what's going on. And it'd be interesting to speak to an Aquarius and get the perspective of what's been going on within the last, now we're going into 2 years, of these shifts that we've been happening. I'm certain they see things in such a way that, this could be done so much better if it was done like this. Aquarius is very community oriented, so they like to work in groups of people. That's how they learn. That's where the open-mindedness comes in. They have an idea, they have a concept, but they also want to engage with what other people have to say and what they're thinking primarily. Not so much feeling, but thinking, because of that air element. But with that kind of perspective, with that kind of understanding, they heal from the knowledge and the words that they're experiencing from other people. And so they don't move so much from here as they do from here. So they see things, and with that understanding of what they're experiencing through people, they can make changes, or they get motivated to make the changes that they would like to see. I think Gandhi stated, be the change that you want the world to see. And I think Gandhi was Libra. I think he was an air sign. And he was a lawyer. But in a sense, look how he took his energy for the betterment of other people. He wanted to see this change at a greater scale. But, unfortunately, Martin Luther King, all these peacemakers, people who wanted to see the change, other people disagreed, and, their life was cut short. So let's change this energy around. Let's just jump right into Aquarius and see with that Saturn influence, planetary influence during the month of Capricorn, what things could hold for you. So Capricorn's December 21st to January 19th, and then we move into your sign, Aquarius, from January 20th to February 19th. Okay. So I pulled 3 cards. 2 cards are in the realm of swords. 1 card is aligned with the energy of water, with cups. And this particular card is very interesting in relation to the connection that Aquarius has with other people. So the first card that I have here for you, Aquarius, for the month of Capricorn. This is a repeater card. This card came up in my previous reading for one of the signs of one of the earth signs. I have here the Maiden of Swords, Page of Swords. So again, we're talking about the mind, thought, rationality, but more perspective. It's like, how are we utilizing what we see and putting it out there for the best interest of everyone else? The Maiden is that, taking a fresh perspective, coming from a place where you want to explore something different and to learn from it. Again, we have the owl for knowledge and wisdom and insight. I feel with Aquarius, with this card here, I feel there's a movement, even though we're talking about the mind and making these choices and having a different perspective. This is still coming from inside. Remember what I was saying? Aquarius is like the healer of spirits, the healer of souls, but at a universal level, at a grander level. They're not doing it specifically for one person. They like to see an overall change. This is where Uranus comes in. Uranus is an air-influenced planet. So there is that spaciousness, the innovativeness, but they want to see changes happen quickly. And it's very hard considering how things have been the last 2 years. Change is going to be coming slower. And a lot of the changes that we've been seeing with vaccinations and the masks mandates going off and going back on again, it's putting a challenge and a test on humanity overall. And we're not seeing so much of the universal consciousness working together as a community. We're moving apart. We're moving away from being united as individual souls. And I think this is what could be really challenging for Aquarius, because they want to see this change. They want to see things move, but in a direction so that we can all work together. And so this, I feel for Aquarius, this could be a hard time to see what's going on. But if you have this belief, if you feel you can make a change, whether within your community where you work, or you have a voice that needs to be heard, speak it. But speak in the sense that you understand both sides of what's going on, because it's not going to be everyone who's going to agree with what you're going to say, and some people who will agree with what you have to say. Second card I got here, there's our second sword card. I have here the Four of Swords. Okay, but what's interesting is with these four swords, they're actually meeting in the middle. And so the thoughts, ideas that were put into action actually start to create an opening in this void here. Okay, so we could say this is our conscious realm, and this is what's going on internally. So our thoughts, we really put things into a perspective, and we were able to cut through this void, which was needed to spend the time and see and reflect about what's going on and what needs to happen. And you're ready to start making these choices. You're feeling like you're at a crossroads, but you're at a point to where almost either direction you go into, you can make an influence of it. And here we start seeing the opening. Start seeing the opening of this void, and we're starting to connect from the inside out. This is a time of reflecting, not emotionally, but more of the mind. Like I said, seeing things, taking this time to really be objective, and more open towards what's going on, and seeing what changes need to be done. Okay, I'm not saying that you go out and start a global campaign. That would be rocking if you did that to change the world. But overall, if this is applying in the situation that you're in, use that perspective. Just be more flexible, even though you're a fixed sign. Be a little bit more seeing of both sides. Like I said here with the Four of Swords, spend time to really think about what's going on in a particular situation. And when you have already found what needs to be said, and it's creating an understanding within, then you can go ahead and start expressing your thoughts. Okay, now this card is actually very interesting because I had talked about Aquarius being community-oriented, working with other people in the sense of community expansion, growth. I got here the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups, ruled by water, the emotions, the intuitive, but it's actually connecting. The Three of Cups is the card that actually allows you to connect emotionally, make an influence of what you have to say. And having someone or a group of people, they themselves are receptive. They're listening to what you have to say. And what you have to say is something that is of importance. It's something that can change the way that they see, but also feel about things. This is a card, too, with the Three of Cups, where you want to associate with people who are open, people who will listen to you, people who will give self-expression of how they feel about what you have to say or what's going on in a circle of people that you are connected with. And this means a lot. This means a lot because, again, I feel Aquarius being that soul spirit healer, you want to listen. You are being that humanitarian. You want to understand how things are with people, why things are the way that they are. I feel Aquarius is also a good sign that works well in different cultures. They like to explore different backgrounds of things, different environments, almost similar to Sagittarius in the sense that, they're the adventurer, but the Aquarius is the adventurer, I feel, of the soul. They like to meet different people. Like I said, they don't stick with one group of people. The wider, the more eclectic, the more different, the more bizarre the situation is or the person is, the more that they learn, the more that they understand about the human soul and the spirit. So Aquarius, for this month we're shifting gears a little bit with perception. Maybe if you feel like what you've been thinking and investing intellectually with just isn't working out, this is probably time just to go ahead and move in a different direction. Find something that you feel that you can benefit from. Okay. It could be something of interest or not. Maybe something will come to you that you weren't expecting, and it's allowing the situation for you to explore and see what's there. But remember, with Capricorn, we're ruling with that Saturn influence of your planet, influence for Aquarius. Let's still put structure into this. Okay, if you feel like you're in a situation where you can maybe be the lead in a community role or in whatever's going on, let's put order into it. Okay, we don't want to get too overwhelmed with concepts and your own perspective and pushing it onto people, because that will just pull people away. Be more community oriented, which I think will come naturally to you, and hear what people have to say. Okay, so that's Aquarius, Maiden of Swords, Four of Swords. Here we go. This is a visual reminder. We go with the Four of Swords. Putting things into perspective and then expressing it outwards, and then the Three of Cups. Connecting with those that are open-hearted, open-minded, and want to listen. Okay, Next up is Gemini. Okay, so Gemini and Capricorn. Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. They are a mutable sign. So their sense of open-mindedness and communication is of great importance. They are very social, very different social-wise from Aquarius. Gemini tends to enjoy being in groups of people just because of their energy and the outgoingness that can happen when you're placed in a like-minded social situation. So what I will show here are the butterflies. So we have curiosity, intellect, and networking. So it's all about connecting, but connecting with people at a communicative level, like exchanging thoughts and learning from them, finding a conversation that just is stimulating for you. And it's something that just excites you because you learn from it. You listen. Gemini listens. Aquarius listens, but Aquarius listens from a different plane. Gemini listens more for knowledge and gaining that kind of insight. So the more the merrier for Gemini. So let's see what we have here for Gemini. Let me do one more shuffle. Okay, so Capricorn, Saturn, Gemini, Mercury oriented. So there could be a little bit of friction between those two planetary influences of Mercury and Saturn. Saturn's Earth, Mercury's air, so they need to have that adaptability to connect with people in many different situations. Okay, so let's see here. Or it could be a challenge that Gemini may need to address. Oh, wow. I got 2 repeater cards. Okay. So the 3 cards that I have here, 2 are Pentacles, Earth, and the other one is air, 4 of Swords. Okay, first card I got here. Okay, so this was in a previous reading with my Earth sign. So I got here 8 of Pentacles for Gemini. So we're seeing results and what you're moving towards, whether it's change, again, the moth, transformation from the inside out. But the work has been done, Gemini. But this work is coming from experience with others. You are learning, you are gaining. You're gaining what you need to what's really important for you. And so the people that you're interacting with and creating balance. Also, we got to remember, Gemini, it's duality. The masculine, feminine energy. They're neutral. They're neither masculine or feminine. They have both of those energies, and that's what they create balance for. Geminis are known as the twins, so that's why they like to see both sides of the situation. They're trying to understand the receptivity of the feminine side, the emotions, but also the masculine, the energy, the activating of these forces when it comes to having things done. Now that can change, again, based on, this applies to all the readings I'm doing, based on the signs and the planets that are in your chart. You could be Gemini, but you could be heavily water, or fire and heavily earth or air. So all those influences play a part. But for the month of Capricorn, I feel with Gemini, we need to take a little bit, be a little bit more grounded, be a little bit more, stay within time frames, kind of give yourself a challenge of sticking within a time frame and not going so far outwards with Mercury. Like, you're talking, but let's get more focused. Let's start finding a direction specifically of where we want to go with what we need to achieve. Okay, so Gemini, mutable, adaptable, the more the merrier. Having so much expansion is great, but it's not really setting you in a direction. So if we can use that Saturnian Capricorn influence of being a little bit more disciplined and more directed, and where we want to go with our goals, which I'm seeing here with the Eight of Pentacles, I feel that this is moving in the right direction of where you need to be. Second card that I have here, this is the repeater card, Four of Swords. So as I mentioned with Aquarius, maybe taking this time to yourself during the month of Capricorn. And if there is a lot going on in the mind, fear, uncertainty towards something, take a moment just to stop, okay? And just reassess things, reassess where you need to spend most of your time into. Okay, so this card's all about thought, all about reassessing. You do that within yourself. Reevaluate. And then once you start seeing the shifts happening with what you're reconsidering, and things are starting to move in a equal direction, then we can start moving forward. We can now come from a clearer place of the mind instead of a little bit too much of all over the place. And I like here with the swords, we could sort of meet in the middle and come to an agreement with ourselves. And once we have that understanding, then we can move outwardly and move properly in the direction that we want to go to. So this card for the Four of Swords, we could take that Saturn influence of putting all of this that we're thinking about and restricting it, and really start assessing, what do I need? What swords, what fear, what issues, what challenge do I need to contend with, to remove so I can move forward? Next card I have here, though, is the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so with this card, fives are specifically dealing with challenges and struggles that we may come across or that we may impose upon ourselves. Okay, remember I was showing, let's go back here. Okay. So we see that things are progressing. This is more on the external side of things, okay? Choices, actions, so on and so forth. We're starting to see shape. We're starting to see these changes. We're starting to feel like things are moving in the right direction. But please be mindful here with the Five of Pentacles. this card here is just like a sign, maybe to take a moment and check in within yourself. Okay, this is what we were doing intellectually with the mind, Four of Swords, just thinking things, putting things into a clarity so that you can express to others. But watch out with the Five of Pentacles, because the Five of Pentacles is something that maybe you could have missed in the process. We spend so much time here, Gemini, with the mind and processing all this information stuff. We don't really take a minute to check in within ourselves. So I feel here with the Four of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, I think while you're taking this time here of reassessing, the direction of things, the Five of Pentacles, kind of look within yourself, the investment that you've been putting in within yourself. Has there been a sense of feeling overwhelmed, stressed? Because here, the Five of Pentacles, we're seeing an apple. Apple is a sign of good health and prosperity. I'm not hinting that you may have bad health, but just take a moment and see mentally, how your mind is, and if you are starting to feel the physical effects of it. Okay, stress. And by not acknowledging that and taking care of that, this Five of Pentacles, everything that you've been working for here, jump back here, everything that you've been working with here could potentially suffer if you're not taking care of yourself. Okay, so just take a moment when you're doing the work of the Four of Swords. See how this is affecting this. Your overall well-being. And if there is some issues, take that time. Slow the energy down, Gemini, of the mind. Let's bring in Capricorn, and let's start taking care of issues within ourselves. Physical body, mental body. And work on those things. Work on the one thing that is potentially holding you back. Okay. So there are all these different steps that are needed to move forward. Okay, so once you get clarity and certainty of the mind, got to see what's going on here as well. Because if you don't have an understanding and a healthy mindset of things, the body suffers. This is also spiritually as well. So let's take care of ourselves and let's do a check-in and see where we're going, because ideally this is where we want to be. We want to transform, we want to grow, we want to shape. But it's the butterfly. So butterflies will have their lifespan, and then things will change. They will move on, and we start the whole process again. Okay, but I'm feeling a little bit strongly with this card, Five of Pentacles. Okay, so just be mindful of that. But externally, things are good. But again, let's maybe slow the energy down a little bit and assess where we are for the month of Capricorn. And this would be a great time to do this, to get things in order with the mind and anything that could be going on that's affecting you physically. Overexertion, stress, tiredness. Take care of that. Okay, that's Gemini. Next, and our last air sign is Libra. Okay, so Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. So their sense of connection, of harmony, deals more with relationships, but also finding what's fair, because they are ruled by the scales. What is justice and what is injustice. They will take all things into consideration. Challenge that happens with Libra is making decisions. They can be very indecisive. Again, try not to generalize. All this is based on the other signs and planets in your chart. But the sun sign of Libra, and as I mentioned in my previous video, you can apply this reading to your moon sign or to your rising sign. So if you are not a sun Libra, but you are a moon Libra or rising Libra, you could still apply this reading to you for the month of Capricorn. So Libra wants comfort in the sense of where they are in their environment. Okay, that creates a pleasant situation for them to live in, to work from, and also in relationships. And I will show you this card a little bit closer, because as you can see there, right below the scales, we see the flowers, and on the scales, I'm not sure if this is like the earth, maybe the sun. It's not stated in the guidebook, but we're seeing different energies that are being balanced out. So how to work with those different energies? If that is the earth, I kind of feel like it looks like the earth, and maybe that is the sun. But making it more pleasant for you. All right, so Libra. Let's see what we got here. If I get the same cards again, wow. I'm going to be shocked. I don't feel I have the same cards. Yeah, I don't. Okay. So Libra is a cardinal sign. Libra, all cardinal signs initiate a new season. So Libra initiates the starting of the fall season, autumn. So with autumn, that time of the year, the energy is waning. It's starting to wane. And as we're in the month of Capricorn, while energy is starting to wax, starting to gain, because now with the winter solstice, in the coming weeks, our days are getting longer by a minute, and we'll start seeing signs of that probably come January, definitely by February 1st for Imbolc. And I'll be doing the reading for that month. But this is a time where we have to shift the energy for Libra. And this could be a challenging time because of trying to find the balance of comfort. And as our energy is slowly starting to increase during a season when things are still cold, everything's still contractive in many parts of the area of the globe, the northern hemisphere, for example. Southern hemisphere, it's summer. Summer is starting to grow. It will get warmer, so the energy there is going to be different. But the cards that I pulled here, let's focus here with Libra and the Capricorn energy, Venus and Saturn. Okay, we had this with the Taurus influence with Venus, with Capricorn. The Taurus energy is different from Libra. Libra and Taurus just share the Venusian energy of comfort and material things. But Libra here, they want to find balance with those that they interact with, and making choices that seem to be fair. in relationships, business, and also within themselves. So the first card that I have here for you, I have here the Four of Wands. So fours numerically start showing signs of a foundation. As above, as below, to our left, to our right. So we're starting to see things moving into a form. Things are shaping. So Four of Wands, the Wands is all about energy, how we're placing this energy. So for the month of Capricorn, Libra, I'm feeling that energy that you are placing during this time, just be mindful. Be mindful where it is being directed to. We want to try, especially with the Four of Wands, let's move everything so that things are moving in a direction that it will give you the balance that you need. This applies to choices, actions that you're taking towards a project. Make sure everything's coming in from all different areas, but they are moving in one direction. Okay, so we're bringing all this energy from the wands, north, south, east, west, left, right, center, above, below. We're putting this all into a set pattern, a set direction. Okay. Four of Wands, if you maintain this kind of energy and this kind of structure, directing this energy into a certain area or certain part of where you are, things will continue to start moving in a way that will create comfort for you and also for others. Second card that I have here, Nine of Cups. So we see the sun above, and the moon below. But then we have the Nine Cups. This is where we're meeting in between. So with this card here, the balance that we're creating will start filling areas intuitively, but I'm feeling here more emotionally for you. There's something emotional that needs to be filled with Libra at this time, during this time. I almost want to lean this a little bit more towards relationships and how you interact with people. I feel with Libra, come more from the heart instead of just finding what's fair and comfortable for you. Be a little bit moving from the heart. I'm not saying that Libra isn't caring or they're not understanding, but with this particular reading for Capricorn, the month of Capricorn, let's open up a little bit more here so that we can connect and feel more within ourselves. Okay, we're experiencing what's going on externally around us, but emotionally things are moving around, and they need to come to a place where you can actually settle this energy down emotionally and feel some sort of contentment, some sort of joy coming from it. I feel there's something missing, Libra, that this Nine of Cups is leading me towards, that needs to be filled within you. So perhaps these energies that you will be working with or are currently working with, if you make these choices in the right direction, could potentially fill what's here. Something deeper needs to be explored, Libra, with this Nine of Cups, to get to this place, to get to this energy of feeling everything all encompassing within your heart. But there is something missing. Okay. I got your card, Libra. Queen of Swords came up. Queen of Swords is associated with Libra. Queen of Swords is someone who is very straight to the point with their thoughts. In a sense, the Queen of Swords is someone that you listen to. Someone who has gone through the full experience of connecting with different kinds of people and understanding. But also the Queen of Swords can come across as someone who's cold because they are very direct, but they're very direct, not so much from the heart, but just coming more from the mind. They've seen the imbalances of in experiences, and they've learned from it. And the Queen of Swords, I mean, look at the size of this sword. This person knows exactly what they want to say, and they can't have anyone cross them. So the Queen of Swords here, as I mentioned, there's with the Nine of Cups, I feel that there's just so much that's being focused on regarding, getting to the truth, the center of things. You're putting all this energy into those kinds of situations, finding answers that I feel here, this really isn't being considered. Okay. Even though it's an air sign and it's ruled by Libra, the way that Venus plays an influence of Libra is just how they see things beauty-wise. Like, this makes sense. This is beautiful. They see it, but feeling-wise, there's a different connection to it. It's like it makes sense to have this or to do this because this will make this environment more comfortable to work in. By doing this or saying this will make this person feel better. Libra is always thinking about other people in the sense of making them feel comfortable. Libras will go out of their way for the most part. I'm not saying all Libras will do this, but Libras want to make sure that the people that they are working with, interacting with, depending on the circumstances, that they have what they need. And it could be very basic. And that's the perspective that Libra has with things. And they will stick to it because of the way that they see the situation. It's very cut and dry. It's like, this is how it is, this is how it goes, and this is why, because this is the way I want it to work. So the directness and the not crossing, if you will, with the Queen of Swords is very strong during this time for the sign of Capricorn. But again, I feel soften this up because this is the card that's standing out for me the most for Libras. I feel that there is something missing emotionally. We need to get to this point. We need to get a little bit more connected here. We have all the actions that are taking place. Everything is moving. Everything's going, and you're putting these energies into forming, a project or things that you want to do within your life. But we need to feel a little bit more, okay? Because I feel Again, this is missing. I know I flashed this card about 3 times. So Libra, for Capricorn, let's be who you are, okay? But also let's think and let's feel more about the other part of what you are going through. I'm almost feeling like this is becoming more one-sided for Libra and not fully paying attention to the other part, the emotions, the intuitive side during the month of Capricorn. Okay. So that's how I feel with this reading. This was a little bit of a challenge to read because of the different energies in that. And when this Queen of Swords came up in lieu of Libra, it's like, okay, there is a lot happening here in regards for using the mind and I'm not saying a power trip, but using it too much. So let's kind of listen a little bit more, and not physically listening, but literally listening and digesting to what someone else has to say. Be a little bit more open in that direction, and find some understanding of the situation. You may have to stop and take a moment for, saying what you need to say, but I think that's really important. I think Capricorn will be of influence for you to not to be so overly disciplined, stick to your beliefs and your thoughts, but let's balance a little bit more with the energy coming from the heart and being more compassionate in that sense. Okay. Alrighty. So that's what I have for Libra for the month of Capricorn. Next up, I will be ending with, fire. I'm going to do fire, and then I'm going to end the last reading with water in the next 2 episodes. Okay, so Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, you're going to be next, and then I'm going to end it with the water signs. So stay tuned. I'm going to be time stamping these. I have to wait for YouTube to process these videos, so I may have to time stamp them after they've posted. But if you have any questions regarding the readings that I've done, let me know in the comments. I'm not going to repeat all the time, but I have a few things going on, and they're all in the description. So if you're interested in some readings from me, I'm also getting ready to do my intro to tarot astrology. I'm hoping to get a few people in so I can get that going. All that information's in the description. All right, have a wonderful night, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will be seeing you next time with the readings for the fire signs for the month of Capricorn.